I'm talking about lettuce.
Guten Tag to our German listeners, if we have any, and welcome to Two Guys Talking About Lettuce. I'm Greg Benson.
I'm
Craig Benzine. I didn't know you spoke German, Greg.
Well, that's all the German I speak.
Really?
Yes.
I can say, wait, niet? Or is that Russian? That's Russian.
I couldn't tell you. I don't speak any more German. I guess niet sounds Russian to me. And also, I really don't know what Guten Tag means. It might mean hello. It might mean good evening, good morning. I really don't know what it means. It just seems like it's a greeting.
Lederhosen, welcome to our podcast.
And I wanted our...
I know that's not German either.
No.
What?
Well, it sort of is. But I just wanted for our German listeners to feel included. I wanted them to feel included.
By saying a word incorrectly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Well, I don't know if I said it incorrectly. But I said it. I said some German, and I just wanted for people who would listen, because we probably have a lot of, maybe all of our listeners are German. I don't really know for sure.
Yeah.
But I just know we probably do have German listeners.
I can hear my daughter walking behind me, and I'm a little concerned that she's going to interrupt us now, and I'm very distracted by that. Can we pause for a second?
Okay, this is the part of the podcast in which Craig has walked away from the microphone so that he can do fatherly things. You know, like saying, hey, we're doing a podcast. Don't come in, please. That's a fatherly thing. You know, when I do fatherly things like that, I just lock the door to my room so that my son cannot come in and disturb us. By the way, I hope you're enjoying. This is the all Greg Benson portion of the podcast today. And I think honestly, we should have the Greg Benson only portion every week from now on, because so far, of all the podcasts we've done, this is my favorite part. This is really, really good stuff, you know, because we don't have all those interruptions, you know, all those Craig Benzine interruptions. But seriously, folks, this is the best part. And I'm sure that you're all enjoying this. In fact, in your reviews that I'm sure you're leaving for us every day, wherever you leave your reviews, I'm sure that a lot of you are going to want to say the best part is the Greg Benson only part, where Craig walks away. Because, I mean, I think we can all agree that this is the most exciting part. Oh, hang on, he's back. Everybody be cool. Okay,
Have you been talking the whole time?
Yeah. I decided that instead of just stopping the podcast, I would take the opportunity to have a Greg Benson only section of the podcast, because we've never done that before.
I'm worried that it's going to be like the most entertaining part of the whole thing.
That's exactly that's what we were all just talking about. Like, all the listeners and I were all having this discussion, and I think that they all agree that it was the most exciting part so far.
So they were talking to you? Listeners were talking?
Listen, you have to assume that while you're talking, the listeners are replying to you, and you don't want to ignore them, because then they feel neglected.
Okay, so you don't want to ignore the hypothetical responses you're getting.
They're not hypothetical. I am getting responses.
Okay, all right.
I just don't know exactly what they are.
Listen, I want them to vote. Just go to the polls and vote.
Yep.
Whether you would rather just have Greg or have both of us on here. And if they elect you to just be the one who talks, I will still reap all the benefits of the podcast, but I won't have to do anything. Yeah. So
that'd be good. Also, I would like for them to vote if they want the podcast to be recorded, or just that we do it live and then it's ethereal, it vanishes. So
yeah, so we just talk and then we don't record it.
Which we do sometimes when we're, have a FaceTime together, or let's say if we're in person and we're having a conversation, we don't record everything that we do.
That's true, but we interact a little differently when we're not recording.
Do we?
No.
Not really. Not so much.
Really. Not really. You did mention the YouTube portion of this podcast. Did we announce that we are in fact on YouTube now? Did we already do that?
I don't know if we did, but hey, I'd like to announce that Craig Benzine has started a YouTube channel for Two Guys Talking About Lettuce, which you can find at youtube.com/lettuceguys.
Yes, you can. And we have a bunch of comments We have 3 of our episodes up right now.
Oh my gosh.
And finally, we have a place where people will comment, because we still only have 3 comments on our iTunes.
Oh man.
Or our Apple Music, excuse me.
I don't know what things are called either. And it's not important. It's not important to know what things are called.
Guten Tag to that.
That's for sure. I'll give that a guten Tag. Hey, you know what? I got to be honest with you, Craig. I often do not have things prepared. I often just wing it when we do this podcast. But today,
That is surprising.
But today, I have 3 questions, which are basically conversation starters that I think will really set this podcast off in the right direction.
Okay. We've been going in the wrong direction?
Well, I mean, I just wanted to make sure that, we have every opportunity to do things right. And be entertaining to our listeners and now viewers, thanks to youtube.com/lettuceguys.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So here's the first question. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Oh, I wasn't prepared for a reciprocal question.
Well, you know what? Hey, listen. All right, I'll stall while you think about your answer.
All right. Let's see.
So, guys,
I got it.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Great.
All right.
Like, what's good? Oh, yeah. Is that it? Okay.
Don't ask me a second question.
I thought this was the conversation starter.
Yes, I know, but I don't want you to ask me another question. I mean, we can talk about things, but I don't want you to ask me another question.
Well, sometimes in the flow of conversation, questions just come up.
Well, I mean, if you haven't prepared them ahead of time, I don't know how that's possible. All right. Question number 2.
All right.
How's China doing?
Good. She's currently watching our daughter and probably putting her down for a nap in a second.
Okay.
And she seems, she's in good spirits. Life is good.
All right.
How's Kim doing?
Oh God, another reciprocal question.
You should expect that, I think, when you ask someone something. Although sometimes I don't follow up with a question and you get upset about it. But but this time you seem to be upset about the opposite.
I'm just thrown by it because I wasn't prepared. I prepared to ask you 3 questions. Yeah. And I was not preparing to have questions just thrown back in my face.
Maybe preparing is not what you should be doing.
Okay, hang on. But, let me answer your question. You asked me how's Kim doing.
Yeah.
Pretty good. She's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Thanks for asking.
Great. Now, I was going to ask a follow-up question.
No,
but
please
I
don't.
shouldn't. No. Okay.
You're going to mess up the whole thing. Listen,
right.
This has a rhythm to it, and we don't want to mess it up.
Okay.
All right. Question number 3. This is the third question I have prepared.
Yep.
How's Ada doing?
Great. She came down here earlier while we were recording and was trying to find her Anna and Elsa dress. She couldn't find it.
Oof.
Which is Anna and Elsa from Frozen.
Oh, sure. Oh, well, I know Frozen. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And those songs are so great. Frozen, we've all been frozen. Beautiful songs in that movie. Hey, are you warming up yet? No, because I'm frozen. Just beautiful. I mean, they write beautiful songs, those Disney movies.
That's not a song at all from that. It sounds more like a 50s musical that you're like parodying.
Another song I really love from is Brr, it's so cold in her. Oh, Brr, aren't you cold in her?
You're making these up.
No. It's from Frozen. It's from
it's amazing that you believe that.
It's from the original.
Made that up.
This is from the original version of. You probably are thinking about the new version.
Oh, there's an original. It's based on an original.
Yeah. It was. Well, Frozen's a remake. Everybody knows that.
Of what? What's the original?
Of the original musical that came out in 1962. It's called Frozen, about Anna and Elsa Jackson, who are very cold.
Jackson.
That's the character names. I don't know what they call them, it's Anna and Elsa Jackson. And
I think it's Anna, but okay.
Well, originally was Anna, so it shows what you know. But
all right.
So in the original movie, they had all these great songs, and I haven't seen the new version.
What happens in the original? What's the plot?
It's all about their air conditioner breaks, and everything gets very cold in their apartment. And
so it like breaks as in like malfunctions and makes things even colder?
That's what happens when an air conditioner breaks.
Okay, all right.
If you've never had an air conditioner break, then lucky you.
I mean, I think I have, and things tend to get hotter.
No. When an air conditioner,
the time that you want the air conditioner to work, that means it's hot outside, and so when it stops working, it stops cooling the inside. Every
time I've had an air conditioner break, it gets stuck on the on position, and it just keeps going until everything freezes.
That's like a very powerful air conditioner.
Well, I do live in LA. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but here we've got really good air conditioners.
Okay,
except when they break. And things get frozen.
Okay, so everything. What else
frozen.
happens? Do the people get frozen too?
There's an '80s band called Eben Ozen, and everything's what? Huh?
There's a '60s musical, but
yes, 1962.
They referenced an '80s band.
Yes, well, they were predicting it, and then I think the '80s band stole their name from the original movie Frozen.
Okay, wait, what's the band?
Eben Ozen. There actually was a band in the 80s named Eben Ozen, and I think that they had a hit. And I'm sure that they were one of those horrible 80s bands, because, there were a lot of horrible 80s bands.
There are a lot of horrible bands in any era, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot that in improv, you're supposed to say yes and. You're supposed to add to the yes. I just gave you the yes.
Oh, you come from the school of improv.
That's right. I forgot it's supposed to be yes and. Anyway.
Very short performances in the school.
We used to do improv shows and they'd last about 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Sure is cold here in Paris. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Good night.
So Eben Ozen.
Yeah. Name other terrible 80s bands.
Wait, what is a song from Eben Ozen?
I think that their hit was called A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y. I'm pretty sure that was their hit.
That's our vowels.
Yeah. Here, I'll look it up. I know it's that one thing that they really love when you do these things is these, what is it called? A podcast?
Yeah.
Is to play copyrighted music. So I'm just going to play it from my phone here.
Okay, great. Don't play it for very long.
Here you go. This is A-E-I-O-U, sometimes Y. Oh my gosh. I mean, that's terrible. Right there. That sounds like. I mean, sounds like
okay.
It sounds like it's the soundtrack to I don't know. Oh God. Oh, Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
It does sound ridiculous.
This is an awful song, and it sounds like it should be in the soundtrack of Beverly Hills Cop 4. I'm going to go ahead and stop that. I think we've heard enough of that. And by the way, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Eben Ozen, the band from the 80s, who has given us $400,000 to play a little bit of their song. Yeah.
And talk badly about it? Was that the talking points they gave you?
They did. They just said, feel free to insult us. We know the song is horrible. And we know it starts with Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. I feel like all bad songs should start with Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, just so you know that they're going to be bad songs.
So the implication here is that Kansas is the only place where there are good songs.
Let's talk about the band Kansas. I'm a firm believer that even though they had a couple of big hits, that really they only had one really good song. I don't think Dust in the Wind is a good song. I'm not a fan of Dust in the Wind.
No, what's the other one?
It's Carry On Wayward Son.
Yeah, yes. We've discussed this before on this podcast.
And you know what? I think we should discuss it many times in future episodes.
Welcome to two guys talking about Carry On My Wayward Son.
Yeah. Although I think the title is just Carry On Wayward Son.
Oh, Carry On Wayward. Carry on but they say Carry On My Wayward Son.
They do say it, and yet I think that the title is just Carry On Wayward Son. But you know what?
Well,
listen.
That pisses me off, Greg.
I know it would. We're just going to have to verify this in a future episode.
Okay. All right. We can't do that now.
No. By the way, for those of you watching the video, you'll see where I smashed my finger, and then I still have a little black part working up on the fingernail. It's going to have to work its way all the way to the end of the finger, and it's going to take months.
That reminds me, I have foot fungus. So,
oh wow! Do you really?
Yeah, from training for a marathon.
Wow! And are you spraying fast actin tenactin on it?
No.
Well,
is that what that's for?
You should try fast actin tenactin. I've never tried it, but my dad used to use it because he would get athlete's foot. Is that the same thing? Foot fungus and athlete's foot? Same thing?
I don't know. I remember the commercials for fast actin tenactin, but I did not. Since I was a wee lad, I did not care what the product was for. So
wow. It didn't apply to your life.
But now I guess it does.
Sure.
But my doctor prescribed nail polish.
Oh,
a specific type of nail polish that you put on every day, and every week you clean it off with nail polish remover, and then you reapply over and over for months. And I'm doing that, and it's improving, but it takes a long time, Greg.
Well, maybe if you want something faster, maybe you might want to try Fast Actin Tenactin. By the way, I'd like to thank our sponsor for this week, Fast Actin Tenactin. If your feet are all fucked up, why not spray some of that shit on it, you little bitch? Fast Actin Tenactin. Thank you so much.
It's a weird talking points you get. I don't ever see these brands give these kind of talking points to anyone else. Like,
you know what?
It's so abrasive.
When we finally do get real sponsors on this show, which I hope we do, I really hope that they'll just allow us to do the ads like that, because I have a lot of respect for any brand that's just like, say whatever you want. It's fine. Call our prospective customers little bitches.
Now, how much money did we get for that one?
$11.
So we got 400,000 from the band, and then 11. How many agents do we have now?
To be honest, we got $11 worth of Tenactin. So I think that's like they've sent us like 2 or 3 of their, I'm guessing it's a little aerosol can, I think.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly, when my father used it years ago, it was an aerosol can.
You didn't get it yet? You didn't get the shipment?
No. They said they're gonna send it sometime in the next couple of years. So I'll just wait around. I'll let you know when it arrives. How many agents do we have? 9 these days? 10? I can't. I'm not at liberty to say.
What do you mean? I'm a half owner of this.
Yes. Well, you are. That's right. This is a 50-50 thing. So you should find out yourself. Maybe try asking your partner in this whole thing.
That's you.
Know? Oh, fine. 11. We have 11 agents right now.
11.
Yeah.
Okay. We should fire all of them.
We got $1 per agent, by the way. That's how we got $11 for the Tenactin deal.
So no other deals have worked that way, but this deal we're just doing $1 per agent.
I feel like this whole agent sponsorship thing is overplayed. I don't feel like we should do this every single episode. I don't know why you brought it up.
Greg?
Yeah.
Doing the same thing over and over again is how I built a career on YouTube.
You know why? Because we have discovered that when it comes to YouTube channels, podcasts, whatever, people do want the same thing over and over again, but slightly different. They want the same, but different.
Yeah, because all of our lives are terrible, and we need consistency.
I'm sorry, your life is terrible? You have a lovely family. You live in a comfortable home. Your life is terrible?
Greg, I was just playing along. Yeah, I was just yes-anding.
Okay. All right, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, your life is terrible. Yeah. And you're ugly. Is that right? Am I supposed to do that? We're talking about things that aren't real, right?
Yeah. Thanks, Greg.
Yes. Actually, that's just from the old joke. Like a doctor goes to the patient and says, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you've got 6 months to live. And the patient says, I want a second opinion. And the doctor says, okay, you're ugly.
I've heard this joke.
That's an old joke. That's where it came from. I didn't mean to actually say that about you. I think you're a very attractive man, and I do think about you often.
Now it's getting. I'd rather you call me ugly, please.
Really?
Thank you.
No. I'm just saying, like in my dreams. I'm saying in my dreams, You and I have a different kind of relationship. That's all I'm saying. We have a different kind of relationship in my dream. I'm not going to go into detail about my dreams. I'm just saying.
I don't want you to. I don't even want you to mention your dreams at all.
I'm just saying you were very attractive, and in my dreams, you and I are living. We're living a nice life together.
Together, really.
Yeah, just you and me. We live on an island somewhere. And
okay, that's enough. We're done. We don't need to hear about your dreams.
All right. If you want to be weird about it, I'm just trying to tell you, everything's good between us. That's all I'm saying. Everything's real good, and I mean real good.
Okay, so the other day, yes. I had BLT.
Oh my God! Did it fit tight around your waist?
No, that's a belt.
Yeah, BLT, a belt.
No, that's B-E-L-T.
You're wearing a belt.
That's B-E-L-T is belt.
So you ate the B-E-L-T sandwich? Delicious.
No, just the B-L-T sandwich.
Oh, you didn't have any egg on it?
No, I did not have egg, and I also didn't have any lettuce. I had a BT.
You had a BT, a bacon and tomato. Did you have bread?
Yes, I did.
So you had a BBT.
Bread.
You had a bread, bacon, and tomato sandwich.
And it had mayo on it.
Okay, you had a BBMT.
Yes, I did. I had a BBMT.
It's got a BM in the middle of it.
And it, yes, it does.
Yes, it does. See what I did?
Kind of.
Yeah. All right, so you're eating your BBMT or your BM for sure. You're eating your BM.
But this podcast is famously about lettuce, and I removed the lettuce from the BLT.
Why would you do such a thing?
It was fine. It tasted just as good.
Come on. Remember, people tune in to hear us talk kindly about lettuce. You don't want to talk about removing lettuce from a sandwich.
Well, I did, and it was fine. I'm not saying the lettuce is bad. I'm just saying it's kind of nothing in that case.
I want to point out that I don't even feel like you ate a sandwich. If you're just eating bacon on bread, you're just having like breakfast. That's just like
it was
bacon.
Tomato there too, and mayo.
Okay. I still think that's just breakfast.
What if I had ham and tomato, ham, tomato, and mayo, and bread?
Well, you got to have cheese on there. Got to have cheese. Ham and cheese. No cheese? No. Only a crazy person would eat a ham sandwich without cheese on it. What are you, insane? Put some cheese on your sandwich.
But if I didn't, it wouldn't be a sandwich? Is that what you're saying?
It's correct. It would not be a sandwich.
I don't agree.
Yeah.
What constitutes a sandwich? What's the definition of a sandwich for you?
It's a sandwich is what I say it is, and that's final.
Oh, okay. What makes you the authority?
I was granted the authority by the Lady of the Lake, just like King Arthur. I was on a vacation. I was in England. The Lady of the Lake reached out her golden sword, and I took it, and she bestowed upon me. Right now. This is, by the way, I'm making all this up. None of this is true.
Okay, when you're doing improv, Greg, you don't have to remind people that you're making it up. You don't have to.
I mean, but I just want to be honest with everybody, because if people are like, "Oh my God, Greg Benson met the Lady of the Lake," then they'd be asking me to for her number or whatever.
Do you find that people have responded to you based on what you've said on this podcast as if it were true?
I get a lot of letters. I do get a lot of letters. Every time I check my P.O. box, I get a lot of letters. Why am I not
getting letters?
Maybe just because people don't know your P.O. box.
Okay.
But I get a whole lot of letters about it. And people, by the way, people love the podcast. Their favorite part is when I have the Greg Benson only section. I've already gotten maybe 30, 40 letters about that.
Wow. In this very episode. That's
multi-page typewritten letters about.
I don't know where you found the time to read those. And I also don't know how they would know, because we haven't published.
People are on top. All I know is people are really on top of it. They heard that part. They wrote the letters. I read the letters, and I would share some of that with you, but they all have requested it remain private. Speaking of private, there's a part of this podcast we do every week just for our Patreon listeners, where we do several minutes of bonus talking, and you'll never guess what time it is, Craig.
1:36 p.m.
That is correct. Your time. And 11:36 a.m. my time. But look it's weird. It's morning for me and afternoon for you. That's so weird.
That's a little weird, but it's almost noon for you, so it's not that weird.
I
Let's
guess.
not make a big deal out of it.
All right, we won't. All right, anyway, it's time now for the bonus talking section. We hope you enjoy it. You special Patreon listeners, the rest of you aren't quite as special. It begins now.
This portion of Two Guys Talking About Lettuce has been edited out for your listening inconvenience. If you wish to hear the complete, unedited version with the bonus talking, be sure to visit patreon.com/Two Guys Talking About Lettuce. And now, back to the edited, not as good version of the podcast.
And that's the end of the Patreon-only bonus talking section. We hope that you all enjoyed it. And by you all, I just mean the 14 or so people who are supporting us on Patreon. Thank you to those people.
Thank you, guys.
I'm going to check, by the way, as we're going on. I'm going to check just to see, because I haven't checked in a week or so. There might be more than 14 people. I'm going over right now.
Okay.
Oh, my God, there's 20. 20 people.
20?
Whoa. It just keeps expanding exponentially.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be dangerous for how famous we're getting on Patreon, I'm going to be I'm worried.
No,
I'm worried.
This is nuts.
I'm going to change my lifestyle.
And one of our new listeners, Alex, one of our supporters there, is listening all the way from the United Kingdom.
Oh, wow.
United Kingdom.
Why are you saying that like you don't know where that is?
No. I just wanted for people to I wanted to make sure they understood what I was saying. So sometimes you have to speak very clearly on these podcasts.
Okay. You could say the UK. That works.
Wow. Look at you. You know all the abbreviations.
Yeah. BLT.
Oh.
UK.
Whoa. This is too much.
TM. Too much.
TM. Oh, yeah. TMZ. Too much sleep. Is that what TMZ means? Too much sleep?
Sleep does not start with a Z?
Well, no. It's like getting you when you, I'm getting some Z's.
What does TMZ stand for?
It stands for too much sleep. You're getting because it's about celebrities. They often get too much sleep. Speaking of getting too much sleep, you're never going to believe this. Now, I'm not a very good sleeper. Last night, I slept for 9.5 hours. That is, I don't know if I've done that in like a decade.
You do seem a little like dreary. Like I'm not gonna.
You think I got too much? Are you trying to say I got too much sleep?
Yeah, maybe you did.
Wow. Okay. Well, next time I'll sleep less.
Please. I mean that we could all use a little less sleep.
Wow. That is not what most people say. Most people want more sleep.
Well.
Sleeping,
you know what? I've been getting better sleep lately.
Good, because sleep is important. What do you think? What do you attribute your better sleep to?
Going to bed earlier.
Oh yeah.
And not drinking alcohol.
Yep.
I think.
Yep.
Well, go ahead.
That's the weird thing because I don't drink a lot of alcohol either. I used to on my streams a lot, but now I rarely drink alcohol. But last night, Kim and I went out for a celebratory. Kim is my wife, by the way. My wife. Okay. We went out for a celebratory.
You don't have to brag
dinner.
that you're married every time you bring up Kim.
I just thought I'd share it with the people. But we just celebrated our 18th anniversary a few days ago. So
congratulations.
Thank you. We had gone on a little camping trip together with Charlie, and then last night we decided to go out for a really good seafood dinner, and it was delicious. And I ended up drinking 2 glasses of wine, which is very unlike me. And I thought, oh boy, that's going to be a problem later because a lot of times you drink wine, you fall asleep easily, but then in the middle of the night, wide awake. That did not happen for me last night. I slept 9.5 hours straight.
Wow.
So I guess every night from now on, I will be drinking 2 glasses of wine before going to sleep. That's my new plan.
No, that you don't have to do that.
Nope.
I feel like
I will not do that. Bad idea.
Okay.
All right.
Well, you agreed with me.
I'm agreeing with you. You are correct.
Okay.
We are friends.
$500.
We are friends and we agree on things.
Yeah. Can you send me $500?
$500 is on the way to you because we are friends.
Okay. This is the overly agreeable radio announcer guy you're doing right now.
I don't want to point out to people. I'm still improvising.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We didn't plan any of this. I'm making this up.
Okay, Greg.
But I seriously will send you $500.
Okay. You
Eventually, when this show makes $1,000, you'll get $500.
Okay. We did agree to. Well, we still got to pay off our agents and the.
Yeah. No, that's just joke stuff. We don't really have agents. That was just joke stuff. Yeah.
Greg,
we don't have any agents.
You're undermining the mythology of this podcast.
I know, but I wanted to be inclusive, and I wanted to let our listeners in on the secret that we made up the whole thing about agents, and also we've never really had any sponsorships. That's all fake.
Greg.
Yes.
That is not true. Do not listen to the thing Greg is.
Don't listen to what Craig's saying. No one listen to Craig.
No, Greg.
Craig. It's pronounced Craig. Craig Benzine.
Speaking of Greg,
yes.
I got some lettuce news for you.
Oh, good. I want to hear the list of lettuce news. This is my favorite part of the podcast. I mean, after all the other stuff. The other stuff's better, and then there's this stuff.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Radio host Mel Greig, spelled Greig.
Right, Greig. That's a weird combination of my name and your name.
Yeah, with an E in there as well.
Yeah.
Well, no, yours has it is. It's basically the last two letters of my name and the first three letters of your name.
Yeah, it's strange.
Wow. Mel Greig.
Greg. Hey, Greg.
She's a radio announcer.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a woman named Mel. So Mel is short for Melinda, probably, or Melissa.
Probably.
Melinda or Melissa or Melina, or Ralph Molina. Like
Melanie.
A lot of people call Ralph Molina Mel. That's the character actor Ralph Molina.
So
gets called.
So her
Mel.
name might be short for Ralph Molina.
That's correct. That might
or
be
Alfred Molina.
That's what I meant to talk about. Alfred Molina. That's what I meant. I don't know who Ralph Molina is. I think it's a musician. Here, you go ahead and read your story. I'm going to look up Ralph Molina. Hang on.
Okay. She says she's a radio announcer in Australia, and she says she's been farting all night after replacing lettuce with cabbage.
Oh, my God.
During Australia's lettuce shortage.
Oh, my God.
She said, just a warning for anyone that's going to swap their lettuce for cabbage. Nobody told me that it causes extreme flatulence.
Oh, God. Okay. Listen, I hate to interrupt your story because it's so good.
But it's over.
But Ralph Molina, born June 22, 1943, is an American musician best known as the drummer for Neil Young's backing band Crazy Horse. And that's why I know his name because, as you know, I'm a big Neil Young fan. I'm sure you know that.
You should be. So
good. Everyone should be. Neil Young, that guy rocks.
I agree.
And you know what's weird? He ain't young. Oh, he's Neil, but he ain't young.
He was young.
Well, he used to be, but you think that he would change his name as he got older, and he did not.
You know, when you're young and you see a bunch of older people, they just remain basically the same age that your whole life because they're always that much older than you.
Oh, man. I'm freaking out. My mind grapes, they're expanding before my eyes.
Like there's a couple of weathermen here at local weathermen and here in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I grew up watching them and they are to me the exact same and they're still there. They're still doing the same thing.
Man.
And they were always like these old guys talking about the weather. They're still these old guys talking about the weather.
Because when you're younger, everybody who's older than you is just an old person.
Exactly. And then they remain old people for a while. And they're still around. So that makes me think like life is long.
Do you know? What else I really like is that the reverse is also true. When you talk to old people, even though you might be in your 40s or 50s, the old people are going to be like, oh, you're so young. You got your life ahead of you.
They do.
Yeah, they do, which I think is wonderful. That's why I love talking to old people. Oh, look at you. You're so young. I'll be like, I'm 54. They're like, to be 54 again and running around in the tall grass, playing with soccer balls. Dippity-bippity-boo. Follow the yellow brick road.
So these munchkins? Munchkins you're talking to?
No, they're just old people who are crazy. They're just nuts.
Yeah. Well, so do you always think of me then as like a young, strapping 20-year-old?
I think because of the gray in your beard, I think that you are older than I am. I mean, yeah, you got the gray in your beard.
You.
Yeah, you seem older than me. Mainly, it's because of the hair loss listen, no offense, and the gray in the beard. and all those wrinkles around the eyes. I was like, Craig is definitely older than me. Do you just feel older than me?
I mean, when I look at you, though, I see a man who's deep down feels death approaching, and has lost all will to try.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say hope.
You know? Yeah.
I mean, the word that comes to mind when I look at you is decrepit. That's usually helpless and decrepit are the two. Like when I see you, I just want to help you walk across the street. I want to open the doors at the library for you.
I just hope that you're wearing some sort of diaper for the sake of your chair and your furniture.
I'm so glad. You know what's great about this podcast is it gives you and I the opportunity to be honest with each other. And,
it's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
And just have an open, honest conversation.
Very
and
true.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah, because I wait to be honest about things until it's
this is great.
Public and people are listening.
Can you hear me, Craig? Can you hear me?
Why are you further from the microphone?
Because if I yelled that loudly in the microphone, it would be it would peak. I don't want it to peak.
Oh, okay, right. So for the bit, you have to get far away.
Often with people your age, you have to speak up. So I just wanted to make sure. Yeah. Would you like a blanket? Are you cold?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Anyway, that was a really good portion. I'm sure that everyone listening to this will enjoy the old and decrepit portion of the podcast. In fact, that's the title. What's the title of this episode?
Listen to the old part.
Yeah, the old.
Listen to the old and decrepit portion.
We'll figure it out.
Okay. You're saying my idea isn't good?
It's not quite there. It's not quite. It needs a little work. It's a work in progress.
What TV you watching these days, Greg?
The one in our living room. How about you?
Oh, we have a projector and a projector too.
Yeah, it's a projector. Yeah, absolutely. That's really our only TV. So that's the one we watch. I've really been enjoying it, especially when we turn it on. Oh, so much better.
So you sometimes watch it with it off?
Well, every once in a while I'll glance at it. I'll look up at it. You know, it's hanging from the ceiling. Did you hang yours from the ceiling?
It is. It has an automated, like, you can roll it up and unroll it sort of thing.
Wait, you can roll and unroll a projector?
The screen.
I'm talking about the projector.
Yeah. Well, the projector itself, that hangs up over there by on the wall, and it's sometimes fun to look at, I suppose.
Yeah, every once in a while you sort of glance over it and you're like, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, that was a decision we made to purchase that a while ago. Yeah, I remember that.
It's a nice thing to do. And and honestly, I think everyone should have one, especially if you like watching TV during the day. You leave all the windows open and everything looks washed out. That's a fun thing to do.
You know, when you're watching it, you should watch the screen it's projecting on, not the actual projector itself.
Oh man, now we're gonna have to move our sofa to the other side of the room.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
Huh. All right. I'll try that.
Yeah.
I'll try. Okay. If you say so, I'll try that.
Now, what do you watch on the TV? Like, what shows do you watch?
Lately, we've been watching a show called Hacks. You ever heard of Hacks?
That is the exact show I wanted to bring up.
You're kidding me.
No.
Wow. Yeah. Now, so you have been watching Hacks. We're almost finished with season 1, and then I think we're going to watch season 2 because that's what's next.
We finished season 2 last night.
Whoa, and do you recommend it? Does it get better in season 2?
It gets just as good.
You know, I enjoy it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite show. I wouldn't put it on my list of favorites, but I do like the show, and it's got some really interesting stuff in it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say it's my top favorite, but it is. I think it's very likable.
I would describe it as a pleasant viewing experience.
Yeah. What about the show Benson? You ever watch the show Benson?
Oh.
So in other lettuce news, we have. Oh, actually, I got a nice lettuce fact for you.
Oh, I love facts.
Yeah. Many ancient Greeks believed that lettuce made you sleepy, so they served it at the end of the meal. However, the super mean Roman Emperor Domitian.
Boy, you really did not prepare for this.
Served it at the beginning of his feasts to try to torture his guests by forcing them to stay awake in his presence.
Wow. That was fascinating.
I think lettuce as an appetizer would be torture in and of itself.
You know what else is torture? The lettuce portion of this podcast. That's the worst part. Like, yeah, we can be on a roll talking about things that interest us, and then all of a sudden we're like, I guess we have to talk a little bit about lettuce, because that's what we called this thing. But I like it. No, listen, I had no idea. It's like I've traveled back in time with you, which is why we enjoy reading those Magic Treehouse books.
Okay.
Yeah, Kim and I will just cuddle up at night. That's my wife. We'll cuddle up and we'll just read Magic Treehouse to each other. You don't have to brag that
you're married every time.
We're totally married to each other. Yeah. And we love each other. Married for 18 years, still love each other like it was day one.
Good. That's good.
So anyway, Oh, no, I'm sorry. I read Magic Treehouse to my son. I have a son.
I've never even heard of Magic Treehouse.
Oh, my God. It's a very famous series of books. The lady who wrote them, like, she published like 50 of them. There's just so many Magic Treehouse books. And
so by bringing up how famous they are and how many there are you trying to emphasize how I'm out of touch? Is that what you're trying to do?
Maybe Ada is just not at the age where she's ready to travel through time and learn about all these things. But a lot of times you learn about how people ate lettuce in different eras. Like a lot of those books are about lettuce.
Really?
Yeah. And they go back in time looking for books, and they eat a lot of lettuce, and they're fascinating. And you learn about history. One of the books
I feel like you're just shoehorning lettuce in here just so that.
Nope. One of the books was about the Roman Empire, and they had some lettuce back there. And then we read one book that was about the Titanic. Now Charlie wants to learn everything about the Titanic and what sort of lettuce they had on that ship, and all sorts of stuff. You know, there's a lot of. You just learn all sorts of things reading those books.
Yeah, I feel like you're shoehorning lettuce into whatever you want to talk about.
Well, let us continue the podcast now.
Okay.
You see what I did?
Okay. Yeah, you transitioned to something else.
Yeah, because there's lettuce that you can eat, and then there are also the two words, let us. But if you say them together, it sounds like lettuce, like the food that you eat. It's very clever, this thing that I just did.
You're shitting me.
I know. If I did, that would be very painful and also surprising. I'm guessing that you'd come out head first, but I would I'd be pooping, and then all of a sudden I'd like something wouldn't feel right, and I think it'd be the scratchiness of the beard, and I would look down, and I'd be like, "Oh my God, Craig Benzine!" And it would hurt so much because it would have to open considerably, it'd be an enormous opening in order
that's enough.
To fit you out, and I'd be like, Jesus, and there wouldn't even be room for you in the toilet. I would have to get up on a ladder and shit you out over some a grassy area or something, so that you'd be able to land safely on a sort of a soft.
All right, that's enough.
And you would be covered in ass juice, which would be horrible. So
what's happening? Stop it!
You brought it up. You brought it up.
It's a common expression, Craig. It's
a common expression that someone shits a friend of theirs out of their asshole. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. You are a ridiculous person. Gross. And that's the end of this week's Two Guys Talking About Lettuce. I'm Greg Benson.
I'm Craig Benzine. Definitely not born out of Greg's asshole.
That's a weird way to end. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
I'm talking about lettuce.
So stupid.
talking about lettuce.